WorthWhile brand that I hope you understand. Work hard, play hard, get up, stack bands. Time to get up, dance, clap your hands. Chillin' in the club with all my friends. Living in the moment, hope it's never gonna end. Love a new beginner, but I skip to the end. I listen to the beat, I hope to ascend. I hope to cherish, and I hope to win.
Hey guys, we are back with another WorthWhile Spotlight episode. And today we got Ethan Eilermann.
What's up, man?
My guy, how are you?
I'm good, buddy. How are you?
Good, good. Thank you for coming on the show.
Thank you for having me.
I know it was last minute, literally last night. But that's how it happens, and I feel like that's what I love about the podcasting thing that I've been doing is that I don't necessarily have a set list of this is exactly who I want to be. I'm almost guided by the universe in a way with it.
Very cool.
So I had the cancellations happen, and I'm I've told Aaron, and I was like, I'm gonna find somebody tonight. And when I started working at the Meal House, it was to network. So I was there last night, and it's bam, it happened. Yeah. So here we are, and thank you.
Of course, man. Thanks.
So obviously, owner of Ollie Finn's, located downstairs here at the Columbia Arts Building. How'd that start?
So Ollie Finn's sandwich counter downstairs. I've been cooking my whole life, man. Since I was a teenager, I've been in and out of other restaurants and stuff. And somewhere along the line, my wife and I decided we wanted to make crazy food and make unique food, but we wanted it to be accessible for everybody. We wanted everybody to be able to eat, my brother does a bunch of barbecue stuff, and he has this slogan, everybody eats, and I love that. So we wanted to make sure that we were doing exactly what we wanted to do while still making it accessible to people. So Ollie and Finn's counter just kind of fell in. The owners of Bad Idea are friends of ours, and we found out the space was becoming available, and we just kind of dove in head first, man. Closed our eyes and just hoped for the best.
I mean, from my perspective, I feel like y'all have been busy though since you've opened. I mean, I feel like word of mouth just keeps growing with it.
Yeah, this town has been unreal. The amount of support we get, we weren't expecting that. We wanted to come in and just make sandwiches and have a good time while we did it. We wanted to be able to work together. We wanted it to be, our little family business. And the support this town's given us, and even surrounding people traveling to come eat it, it's been crazy. And we just want to see more and more, man. We love it. We love it.
What you said you worked in restaurants before?
Yeah, my whole life.
Okay,
yeah.
okay. Yeah. But you never owned a little establishment?
No, this is the first ownership venture for me and my wife. So
y'all are crushing it so far.
Well, thanks, man.
Are y'all both from here? Are you from here?
I moved to Franklin in '99. I don't know, a long time ago. And so I grew up in Franklin, and then my wife grew up in Florida. She moved here in her early 20s to Franklin as well. And we met weirdly in Murfreesboro.
Right on the side.
Yeah. And then started just trickling south. We moved up to Nashville for a year, and then after that year, it became Franklin, and then Spring Hill, and then about 4 or 5 years ago, we came down here, bought a house down here in the Arts District, and kind of fell in love with that side of town, and so it just made sense for us to put the sandwich shop within, a half mile of our house. So.
Fair. Y'all live in the Arts District?
Yeah, we live just on the other side of the tracks.
Okay, nice. Oh, really?
Yeah.
You can walk here, really?
Yeah, really, we could. It's not today, though.
Yeah, the heat is excruciating.
It's brutal.
So you guys have some diverse sandwiches there. No, I wouldn't say diverse, but it's not something you can go Subway and get.
No.
Like that. How would you describe your sandwiches and the thought process behind them?
Oh man. So the thought process behind it, a lot of it comes from nostalgia. So, we have the Speechless sandwich, which is the peanut butter jelly, bacon, potato chip sandwich.
I have not tried that one yet.
Yeah, it's most people's last sandwich. It
really?
kind of throws people. It's just peanut butter jelly with bacon and chips. It sounds good on paper, but people are hesitant. It's an after-school snack, man. As get home from school, make a peanut butter and jelly. There's some bacon left on the counter from breakfast. Just throw it on. And if you don't crush up chips and put it on your sandwich, you're not doing it right.
I've done it. What kind of chips do y'all put on it? Is it your house?
Yeah, we put our house
chips.
chips.
Okay.
I
bet that is good.
Yeah, we make 2 kinds of chips in house. We have our regular seasoned potato chips, kettle cooked basically, and then we have we call them the Crankle chips. They're a crinkle cut, kind of Nashville style sweet heat. So it's like Nashville hot chicken, but sweet at the same time. So it's weird. Just par for the course for us. So.
With you said Cassie and Zach.
Yeah.
They told you about the space, but were y'all already looking for like opening a restaurant, or how did that like kind of unfold?
So Ollie and Finn's has existed as like a dream and began to exist on paper as far as like developing menus. What do we want to do? We knew we wanted to open a restaurant. We knew we wanted to make accessible food. We always wanted to do a bar too, and when we found out about the space in the cab, we didn't have to do the bar because Bad Idea's there. And being kind of partnered with them has just been glorious for us because we really don't have to think about that aspect of our business, which is huge because Zach and Cassie do an amazing job. They make unbelievable beer. So I don't have to think about that, and that's great for me because I can streamline my focus. But when the space became available, like I said, man, it was like, hey, this space is available. We know you guys have been kind of talking about doing something. It's like, it says tiny space, but it's a good place to start and grow from. We just literally looked at each other. I think I wrote a 40-page business plan in the span of 48 hours, and
nice.
Got very little funding, just everything we had, and just closed our eyes and dove in head first. We were just like, let's go. Menu was done at that point, and at least the first one. We've already had 3 now, but
that's evolution. It's
it's seasonal too. The food you eat in January should be different than the food you eat in July. But when we decided to open it, we really did just dive in, and the space was available. There was when the Little Juice Company left that space, they did a great job like making it to where we could just kind of come in and pick it up.
Yeah.
We didn't have to do a crazy build out or anything like that. It was geared to we could see a vision in the space from the remnants of what was left over. And so it was a quick build out. We were able to open real fast, and we were both going to work 2 jobs and just do the counter on the weekends. So it was originally just going to be Thursday, Friday, Saturday. I was going to stay as the chef at the restaurant I was at. My wife was going to keep her job, and then it was like after the first weekend, it was like we have to open more days. Someone's got to be here full time. And so I did that, and then as of a few weeks ago, now Anna's full time too.
Oh wow, nice.
We are both just
congratulations.
Living
awesome.
in there.
How was that mindset switch for you? Like, because obviously when it gets to that point where you're like, man, someone needs to be there full time. Like, how was that internally? Like, man, like this is happening.
It was really just like, I'm not focused at my other job. I can't think about anything else. It's like, this is not gonna go well. And after we opened one day in December. We had like a kind of a soft pop-up kind of night, and it was a great night. And then our first weekend in January, when we actually opened, was like Snowmageddon. It was that weekend where you couldn't even drive in town, and we still had tons of people walking. You know, like we had people walking from Riverside in a foot of snow to come eat our sandwiches on the first day we were open. And it was just like, there were moments where like we both had to leave, and it was just like, oh my God, we were getting emotional about it. But it was so cool just for everyone to come out and show support, not knowing anything and braving a winter storm to do it.
They didn't get their photographs and like do a plaque.
Right, yeah, we really do.
Dedicated.
We should do that. But and then after that day, it was just like, one of us, I have to be here every day. I can't go back to work. I don't want to. That was really what it boiled down to. It's like, I only want to do this. And I'd spent a long time kind of adjusting what I was doing, especially once we had our kid and everything. And it was, find a safe job, find a good salary and do the things that you're supposed to do to, be a responsible adult and parent. And then it was, what if we just risked everything?
Flip the switch of it.
Full 180. It's like we bought a house. Like let's just dive in and get after it. And So we did, and it was a lot of fun.
What was life like pre-kid?
Life like pre-kid. Oh man.
Do you play music?
No, I don't.
Okay,
I did it. My wife is my wife actually just got back from a tour in Scotland.
Oh,
She
wow.
was singing over there. She's a great singer. I played music growing up. I did a lot of like theory stuff and like private lesson stuff, and I just don't have a passion for it. I wish I did at school, but I don't enjoy doing it like I did when I was young. And I found my passion exists in food and drink. So that's where I
I mean, they go hand in hand. You gotta have a drink with food. I mean,
you gotta wash it down.
whether it's water, maybe it's something else, beer, something. Yeah.
Whatever it is, man. Mountain Dew.
So what were some like outside of food? But is there any other creative outlets or like did you like reading? I know you said your tat is over the book by McCormick.
Cormac McCarthy.
Okay.
Yeah. Love reading. Have read my whole life. My literature now has moved into more like nonfiction stuff and, cookbooks and stuff like that written by chefs that I admire and what have you. But you love a good story. Who doesn't love a good story?
Yeah.
Big movie guy. Love going to watch music. Bit of an audiophile. Like, love the listening aspect of music. I just don't enjoy playing it as much anymore.
What's your favorite genre?
Favorite genre? Man, I have Lucero tattoo and I have a Blink-182 tattoo. So it's a bit of I love the alt country, Jason Isbell type vein of music, and then that early 2000s, just that window of pop punk and emo stuff. I saw something the other day that called it dad music, and I was like, that kind of, it's the new dad music. That makes sense.
At first I didn't like the sound of that, but it really resonates.
I'm those things, so it works.
This is off topic, but on topic. I remember one time I was eating at the restaurant, and I don't remember who I was with, but there was a conversation that happened, and I remember that someone said you had said you were friends with Miley Cyrus's like brother or something like that.
We went to school together.
Okay.
Yeah. Trace Cyrus. We went to middle school together.
Okay.
But yeah, I think my sister knew Miley. I don't know. Trace was a cool dude. He was a skater kid in middle school, and we had some of the same friends, and I think we hung out like once or twice. But yeah, I'd see him in the hallways and stuff. He was always a cool kid.
Trace. I feel like Trace is like that name too.
Yeah.
It's
Just like,
you know Trace. You know Trace.
Yeah, Trace. He skates for sure.
Nice. Would y'all have any future thoughts of like expanding it? Obviously, how long has it been since you've been open now? Maybe
We opened.
It's not a year.
No. We opened January 6th. We're right at about 6 months. Thoughts of expansion for sure.
When the time's right, obviously.
Yeah. So we kind of created Ollie and Finn's backwards from what we initially intended to do. So what we wanted to do is we wanted to originally do Ollie and Finn's like almost like a bar and grill, like a full service dinner centric kind of
like servers and everything like that.
Yeah. Do a full like in town, similar to how Southern Tray is, do not fine dining, but like accessible dinner where you can go on a date, but you can also take your family, and the food's great, and that was the whole thing of everything we do is if the food's not great, we're not doing it. And so that was the original thing, and then the sandwich counter was supposed to be like a spin-off, and we wanted to kind of do like, hey, there's a brewery, they don't want to do food trucks, we need 400 square feet within it to put a sandwich counter in, and it's just this concession stand that serves completely different food. That's kind of what the idea was. And the space that was made available to us, that's perfect for a counter. It's attached to a brewery, which is kind of the vein in which we thought originally. The whole idea of a counter is like the old pharmacy. You sit there, you get a sandwich, and instead of
a conversation.
Sure. Yeah. Instead of a bartender pouring you a drink, I'm making you a sandwich. But most of what we've had conversations in our past have been eating a sandwich while I talk to you from across the counter, and that's. I've worked behind bars and stuff. I've ran bars before, and that's one of my favorite things. And my wife was a bartender as well, and so it was kind of like, this makes sense to do it in this vein. But as far as the future, there's always there's always the full concept Ollie and Finn's that we want to do at some point, and then
It'll happen.
Thank you.
It will.
Speaking
It
to
will.
existence. I have always wanted to do a breakfast place. I love breakfast. It's the first meal of the day. It's the first time you get to eat. It's the best. But I always, Ollie and Finn are our dogs, so we named this after our dogs, and I felt bad because we have a human child as well that has been like, stake in the game.
What's her name?
Molly.
Molly.
And so we want to do
Ollie and Finn's and Molly.
We want to do Molly's Wake and Bake and do like a little breakfast
like that.
bakery and coffee shop at some point.
I like
so
that.
We'll get after it. Maybe not in 2022.
Fair, but that'll be nice. I'll be there.
Oh yeah,
100%.
big mimosa bar.
Yeah. What you already have like concept sandwiches and like breakfast
Sure,
stuff
yeah,
like
yeah.
that?
The thing I did before, I did a New Orleans brunch restaurant. That's
Okay.
where I was immediately for a couple of years, and did a lot of like menu creation for them and stuff. So, and then I just love breakfast, man. Anna and I we are brunch connoisseurs, man. If we have a day off to where we go, if I wasn't here right now,
Fair.
I'd probably be drinking a
sorry.
Bloody Mary somewhere.
No.
No, it's cool. It's cool. We got plans for the afternoon. We're good.
You said speaking into existence, and that just maybe a question, because all this is off the top. Like I said, I don't
Yeah.
have anything like planned, but like, are you big into that realm of like manifestation and like meditation and stuff like that, or?
I think you have to be. I mean, you don't have to be. You don't have
No,
to do
yeah, but-
anything. But I think,
In creating anything.
why wouldn't you? Why?
Yeah.
And if you're gonna create stuff, why wouldn't you try and manifest? Why wouldn't you try and speak it into existence? It's all about finding your self confidence and believing that you can do it, and you have to do that before anything else can happen. So, am I a big meditator? No, but this brain's crazy. It doesn't shut off. But am I a big, we have this idea, we manifest it? Yeah, to the point that sometimes I probably tick my wife off about it. Just like, no, we're going to do this. We're going to do this. Just, can we stop and do this thing that we're already doing first? But yeah, I think manifestation and ambition go hand in hand. And I think that it's important to really speak your goals out, man. Like, I don't want to hide what I want to do. I want to tell people and let people know what I want to do, because maybe they'll support me. Maybe.
I mean, for literal example, like you just said, like we would like to do Molly's Wake and Bake.
Yeah,
And like
I'm
you just put it out
manifesting,
there,
yeah,
but
it's in the world.
somebody's gonna listen to it and be like, "You need to do that."
Yeah.
Like, I would be there and like literally build and
Yeah.
build and build.
Yeah, maybe tonight we go make the Instagram for it.
I'll be the first follower.
Let's
go. You let me know I'm there. Just from knowing you, I feel like you're pretty in tune with yourself.
Okay.
Is that something that's always been?
No,
or-
God,
okay.
no. It took a long time for me to figure myself out, and there's still some figuring to do.
It never
but,
stops.
I was a lost little boy for a long time. I didn't know who I was. I didn't know what I wanted to do, and I think me spending the amount of time that I spent in kitchens specifically really helped shape who I am. I think, being part of pirate crews and being part of, kind of what my tattoo says, the last of the true, like a lot of people that I've met in kitchens and I've gotten to work with over the years have helped to really shape who I become and allow me to know myself and be myself. It's fun because you go into a new kitchen and sometimes it's incredibly intimidating. And
Kitchens are their own environments.
they
They're
are
their
very
own
much.
universe. Like
It's a living organism. It's crazy. But you go into it and you don't know what to expect, especially a new kitchen. And when you're in your early 20s, you're on top of the world already just because you're dumb.
you have no responsibility or like
nothing real has happened to you. And so you go in there and you wind up becoming this sponge and getting this from this guy, this from this guy, this from this girl, and learning who you are and learning how you fit into a team, really. And I think that once I kind of became a person that could see myself as a member of a team and learned how to work well with people and be supportive of other people, it became more of, I can do this by myself and do that to myself and allow, be supportive of myself, be a team player to myself. And it just has allowed me to kind of have a self and establish a self.
Is there any specific like key like perspective switching moments that you can pinpoint from like?
I've got some sad ones, unfortunately. But I had a very close friend die in a motorcycle accident a few years ago. I think about 5 now. We worked together at I think 7 different restaurants.
Oh, wow.
We always, if one of us left, we both were going, or we were working in 3 restaurants together at the same time, you know. And I think when that happened, I think that was a bit of a kick. My brother-in-law, my wife's brother, passed a few years ago as well, and I think those two, you know, I've lost a grandparent. We all have gone through loss in our life, but I think those two specifically kind of kicked something new. You know, Molly was a baby when my wife's brother died, and so that was tough for me because it was like, man, she lost an uncle. She's already lost. You know, this was a perfect little innocent being that's already dealing with loss, and B died when Anna was pregnant, so it's just kind of like I'm having my first kid, and
it's like
my best pal's never gonna meet her, you know. And so I think those two kind of culminations and happening kind of close together, kind of flipped a switch for me, and it was just like I'm just less nights of, hey, let's go hang out till 3 a.m. and wake up at 6 a.m. and go work for, you know, 19 hours and do it all again. It became more of a,
I'm gonna focus on the people around me.
Yes. Let's close our circle, and we have a big circle. Ollie and Finn's counter. We have a big circle of people that we love and support, but we close it in so we can love and support harder and be more appreciative of those that are close. And still, we love everybody, man.
Yeah, well, that like having focused love and care for a smaller group overflows.
Sure.
I mean, it's like the overflowing cup, like it's symbolic
and it
phrase, but like, yeah.
It allows you to be to be, yeah. But to not, like, when you have that excess, it allows you to kind of like not, things don't irritate you as much, man.
Yeah.
I'm not as irritated as I was 10 years ago. I'm just doing it. And
going with the flow.
It's life's a lot easier.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I've realized a lot that like the more you try and plan, the more that it's like whoever's pulling the strings, God, the universe, it's like, oh, well, this is how it's going to happen. And it's really just how you react.
Sure.
And how you perceive the things that happen, and like that affects going forward, like how you treat people, how you treat yourself, and how your business, like it all folds in together.
Right. And you know, you can write down anything you want, but like you said, it's something's got to be pulling the strings. I don't know what it is, but something's got to be pulling the strings somewhere, because it's like if you write it down, it's never going to happen, you know, or it's going to happen differently. And so it's always been you know, we'll write down the stuff we need to write down, but do it in pencil.
Got an eraser, you can erase. What was the first restaurant you worked at?
First restaurant I worked at, I was probably 14. I don't know. I was young. But it was Torino's Italian restaurant. It was on 96 in Franklin. It got shut down while I was there. So it got shut down. I don't even know the full story. The people that I've talked to that I worked with was INS came and took our whole kitchen, and then it never reopened. But it was over by like in the strip mall that Sprouts is in Franklin.
I'm not too familiar with the layout of Franklin, but
it's ever changing. So,
fair.
But yeah, I worked there for a bit, and then when they shut down, it was Pizza Hut, man.
What restaurant was the one that like it clicked? You're like, I kind of like this. It's like a passion vibe.
Sure. There was a restaurant in college called Shakespeare's Pizza that I went to University of Missouri for 1 year, back when I wanted to be a journalist. And I went there, and there was this little pizza place. Think of the same kind of vein as Mellow Mushroom, but like a little bit more like farm to table, fresh stuff, and
not corporate.
Yeah, not corporate. Yeah. It was that place was awesome, and I didn't work there long. And then the first like real, I did Cork and Cow in Franklin for I don't even know how long. I was there for a while. I did that.
So they all blend together.
Yeah,
anyway, the
they really do.
stuff.
Well, and they all overlap. That's the other thing about
because you don't
working
just leave one. Like you start somewhere.
Yeah, you start somewhere and then transition out of it. It's just I'm gonna pick up some day shifts at this other place. Well, they need me to work dinner. They want to pay me more. Like it's all ebb and flow in this industry. It's crazy. But Cork and Cow, that was probably where I cut my teeth the most. You know, that was the first time that I ever made something that went on a menu. That was the first time I ever.
That right there is a form of manifestation.
Sure.
I mean, it's like,
sure.
Yeah.
It was the first place I ever like really got to like not know the crew that I worked with, but like I'm still in contact with those guys from whatever, like 10 years ago. You know, I don't talk
There's
to any of
that
it.
family vibe.
Yeah,
I think restaurants bring that. Like
they do. It's weird.
Yeah.
Speaking of family vibe, if you're ever in Pulaski, the Southern Table, my boy Ryan Yoakley,
Nice.
unbelievable food. But he was a part of that. He worked at Red Pony across the street, but it was the same group, same ownership, and we all worked at the catering company together as well. But that was the first kind of like, yes, chef. You know what I mean? Like you felt like you were in, you know, a real environment of creativity and growth while also being in a kitchen, you know, tirelessly working excessive hours over fire.
literally knives, fire,
And fire and all of the fun things.
I think it's crazy. Like I feel like everyone should work a little bit in the service industry, a little bit. But like I remember, because I started at Olive Garden. That was my first restaurant. Like,
Italian margarita all day.
they are with the little shot of Amaretto
yeah.
throw in there. Oh yeah, it's a move. I actually wasn't of age when I worked there.
Oh,
so,
okay,
like,
gotcha.
I've heard people's talks about it, and then I think I had one when I was of age after I stopped working there. But either way, what I was going with is like I remember, you know, having no experience at all. Like I wanted to work in a restaurant to like learn how to approach people because I was always serving. I worked at Southern Trade. Oh, did you know I worked at Southern
Yeah,
Trade? Okay, yeah.
Anna and I used to come see you.
Yeah.
We didn't know you, but you were our favorite bartender.
But I remember, like, I wanted to start working there because I wanted to learn how to approach people and talk to people in that aspect. And I never worked in the kitchen at Olive Garden, but I worked in the kitchen at Southern Trade some. But I remember a Friday night one time where it was like, you know, they're wild. Like you said, it's its own machine that's running. And I remember it's Friday night, you know, we're full house, slam, middle of the night. And like, I go in the back and, you know, there's an in, there's an out, like full hands in, full hands out. The music's bumping back there. And I was just like, this is wild. Like there's like 25 people carrying trays of food, drinks with trays on it. And like just literally cutting in and out everywhere. And it's a oiled machine. And like, I think that really like impacted me to like, for one, have a respect for like restaurants and understanding, but like two, just like, man, I want to be in this. Like you said, like the family, like it's like a rush. You're just like, you're in it. It's like a 5-6 hour, just like go. And then it's like, man, we did that. You know, it's like, yeah, we'll do it. Be like, yeah. But yeah.
To me, I like to think of like a restaurant as the fifth major sport. You know what I mean? Like we like, sure, you could say soccer. Some people say MTV's The Challenge is the fifth major sport, but it really is. Go watch a 6-hour dinner service. There is no open tables. Yeah, that is watching people work in that environment. It's a dance, man. It's a dance with knives and fire, and they're putting up these plates of, you know, hopefully gorgeous food, and I think that was what the draw was working, finding an environment like that. And like you said, just the first time you just kind of take a step back and watch everyone else do it, it's like, oh man, I could be a part of this. Like I can find, you know, my place in this to do a dance as well. It's nuts. There's nothing like it.
And you have to like, I think with the restaurants as well, is like you have to do your part.
Sure.
You have to, because if you're not, like, you're either slacking, you're in somebody else's way, you're messing, like, you have to be all in. I mean, you don't have to, because if you're, I mean, I guess it's per person on what you want to do, but like, you're going to have a much better time if you're doing your part and everyone's just like working as a team versus this guy doesn't ever run anyone's food, or this guy doesn't move these dishes or take the trash out. Or
there's a feeling at the end of a shift when that
last table leaves.
The last table leaves.
The last dish goes out the window.
Yep, and you wipe the front of the equipment. The last thing you do, you're getting that splash from the mop water just off of it, so it's shiny again. You're just that last moment, and it's just you're all kind of there.
See you tomorrow.
Is Tyler still at the bar? Yeah. you think he'll make us a shot before we go?
Literally. And of course,
but that's the thing, and then you wind up going through this chaos together, and then most of the time you wind up having dinner together or drinks together, whatever, and you really do. It's almost like how like people say like I get to choose my family.
Yeah.
Like it's the second family that you don't get to choose.
100%.
Like it's inevitable. Like there are people that you probably would never hang out with
100%.
That you work with in a kitchen, and you're still going to get drinks with them every day.
But you like it builds that like that guy is the reason that you're getting this food, or like you have to have that cooperation. It's like if you don't respect or have a friendship, and like that was one thing. Like when I started working in the kitchen at Trey, and I would do expo and then sometimes like pantry or something like that. But like, there's the front of house, back of house like war.
There's always a dynamic.
Yeah. But like I go back there. I've been working there for like 3 years at that point, and I was managing the front of house one night, and there was a call out on expo, and nobody else could come in, and like I'd never expo before, but I knew the concept, and I know like if I go back there I can do it, and it was either like we all suffer up front or I just go back there and do it. And then of course they're like, oh, we're gonna start scheduling expo shifts. But like at first it was like like he's back here, like oh it's Tyler, like he's front of house, like whatever, and like I really didn't want that like dynamic. So like and like, some people I was really close with anyway, but like it's different when you go back there and then now I'm like I need this. And it's like, whoa, like you just came back here,
Yeah.
But I started expoing Monday mornings or Monday doubles all day, and I made it a point. I brought Chick-fil-A biscuits for everybody every morning.
Dude, that's
and
amazing.
like front of house and back of house, because it's like I want you to be. Most people are not eating in the morning anyway,
right?
So it's like if I'm gonna provide breakfast for you, you're gonna be in a better mood, not just because I gave you something, because you probably haven't eaten today.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, well, cool, and it just builds that chemistry.
For sure, and that's just a class move. I'm just gonna say we used to have a dude Wednesday night. He'd bring the big old square of Crystal burgers, and it was just like how many? It's like, chef, you think you can crush a dozen today?
It's like 13. Watch 1 a minute.
Baker's dozen, pal.
I love it.
But that's such a move, and that goes into that. There's naturally separation, like there is when you have two different components of any industry, any office. There's going to be separation, between accounting and payroll. I think accounting and payroll are the same thing, but whatever. There's going to be separation between your teams,
like management, and then
But when those little things like chicken biscuits, those little things like, hey, round of beers for the kitchen on me tonight.
100%.
Those little things. It's just like, well, this guy's not so bad. Like, let's bring him in our family. We'll listen to him.
It goes a long way.
It goes so far. And it's crucial. It's you got to do that kind of stuff. My wife's not a line cook. My wife, she was always front of the house, and this week was. Last week she had got back from Scotland, so there was kind of like, we'll go slow this week. And then this week I was like, I'm putting you in the fire. So I made her do Friday lunch by herself, and I just kind of stood back and let it go. Yeah, you were there. You were there. I made 2 salads the whole day. That's all I did. But I remember when we got through it, I remember like when I went up to her to give her like a high five and tell her I was proud of her because she got her butt kicked. She had a great lunch. And she did it, and she didn't think she could do it. But I remember when I went to do that, this is my wife. We've been together over 10 years. Just me coming up to her and just being like, yes, girl, you did it. High five. Like, I told you could do it. Yeah. I could see in her face. It was like she needed that more than she needed to, like, she knew she could do it. She needed other people to tell her that. And she needed me specifically to tell her that. And I think that, kind of get into an area of just like expressing positivity out of yourself. And just, I've always come from like a management standpoint and running a kitchen a little differently than I think a lot of people do. I don't ever tear anyone down. I only coach from a positive place.
What's that gonna help? Yeah.
It doesn't. Yeah. It doesn't. But in this industry, you see it so much. That you see just dudes getting ripped constantly. And for me, it was always like, no, I'm only gonna make you better. I'm only gonna try and make you better. And if we need to have a conversation, then we need to have that conversation. We're gonna go outside and have that conversation. I never would have it in front of other people.
Yeah.
And I think that when you kind of play that positivity out into the world, especially when you are in a leadership position, you really can impact the day-to-day of the people that you surround yourself with.
Because they enjoy working for you or working with you. That's one thing there's the line of like, I don't want people to feel like when I'm expo and it's like, yeah, I'm the one asking for stuff and making sure everything's happening, but like we're working together. Like you're not working for me. I don't need like it's a team. It goes back to the team aspect. I mean,
it does. Every team has a coach, but if when you get into professional sports, that coach doesn't make as much money as the players.
No,
no.
And so, he's not on the field.
And he's not on the field. He is the organizer, and that's about it. And I think that when you look at it from that perspective of you guys are the talent, I'm just here to make sure that you guys are standing in the right spots. And if you can, when you're running a kitchen, if you can kind of do that, let the talent shine, you know? And it was cool for me growing up in some of the kitchens that I grew up in, having that opportunity, you know, being given the opportunity when I was at Cork and Cow to, hey, like, we need a fish special today. Ethan, what do you got? You know? And
that allows you to have that creative switch.
Just like, give me 20 minutes. Let me, you know, let me think about this.
Give me a second.
Yeah, I'm very excited.
I love that. Actually, I'm just diving into it, but like the smoking aspect of like restaurant industry for me, like I'm not sponsored on this podcast anymore. So like I'm not gonna be worried about like what I talk about, but like that is a bonding thing, at least for me.
Oh, yeah.
There's a lot of like, you know, marijuana smoking that happens. But I remember I really just wanted to tell this story, and that's the whole point of this. But like one time I was working at Olive Garden, and like this dude Brandon, he was working, he was on the line, but I don't remember what specific thing he was doing. But I was serving one night, and like we had the herb grilled salmon there, and it was the most sexy salmon that ever came out of that window. And I worked there for like 2 years at that point. And I was like, I went to grab it and I was like, did you make this? I was like, that is the best looking salmon I've ever seen. And then he was like, thanks, bro. And then like 30 minutes later, I was like, do you smoke? And he's like, yeah. And I was like, I knew it. I was like, you had to. I was like, you would not have made something that beautiful if you didn't. I was like,
no, it just makes you more creative.
Yeah.
It makes you a better artist.
You tune in.
Yeah. And, you know, I've never shied away from the fact that, you know, that's definitely something that I very much want to become legal in this state, and you know, I'm fully an advocate for it. But it's been my whole life. You know, I started smoking pot when I was a kid, and there's so many medicinal properties to it just for yourself. But like you said, there's such this ability to smoke pot socially with people. It's like getting a drink with someone, you know. And in kitchens, you hear a lot of, you know, drug abuse and alcohol abuse that exists within the confines of that, and you know, human abuse as well. But what you miss from it is there are still moments of just organic goodness that can come from it too. You know, you don't have to abuse something to enjoy it.
I was about to say that it goes back to the moderation
Sure.
aspect. I mean, you can like get up and smoke every minute of the day, all day, and that's not going to benefit you.
No.
But if you just one little hit and you tune in or whatever it may be, it's like it's a tool. Everything's a tool.
Everything's a tool.
And like you can break a tool.
Exactly, you can break a tool. But there's something to be said. I mean, just like you said, in moderation, you know, the technology that's coming from that industry, you know, being able to choose like this is the exact blend and potency that I want because it works for me and it puts me at a level to where I can see things more clearly, or I can, execute my day better, or, my feet don't hurt as bad at the end of a 12-hour shift, or I don't have these headaches, whatever. The science behind it is just absolutely outstanding, and I'm excited to see, like, as that industry grows and progresses, what we get from it, because I do think that there's a lot of
helpfulness.
There's a helpfulness and a hope there. And I think that there's a hope there at a time when I think our country needs some hope right now.
Yeah, no, 100%.
There's a lot of divisiveness, but
which is kind of ironic too, that like there's both ends of that spectrum of, it's like you just said, like we need kind of like all this bad is kind of happening. It's kind of ironic that it's at the same time becoming more and more legalized in different areas.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like happening at the same time in a good way, because eventually that's going to happen,
Yeah, that's the hope, is we eventually get there.
Yeah.
But there's something to be said for any and all, recreational. I've had hangovers so bad where I wake up in the morning, 2 ibuprofen and a Miller High Life, and I'm back at it, ready to go. And do I drink in the morning? No. Like, am I someone that's chugging beers all day? No, I don't. I'm everything in moderation. But it literally is that. It's everything in moderation. If something's gonna help you get through your day, because you otherwise wouldn't, a day where I'm not stuck at the house, with my eyes closed, is a day that's a successful day.
Yeah.
I don't want to deal with, headaches all day or not be able to. I've had injuries, man. I've broken 56 bones in my life. I know what being down and out for the count is. I don't like that. I have to get up and get at them.
And I'm sure too, though, like going through that many different like times where I'm sure you were hindered.
Yeah.
While you're repairing your arms are getting better, or whatever happened, like that makes you appreciate the time that you're like, I don't have to be stuck at the house because I have a broken bone. Like it makes you appreciate that like freedom more in a sense.
Absolutely. And I think that it's a whole matter of just what can you do today that gets you out of the house and gets you to be your best self. And sometimes it's
different for everybody.
Yeah, sometimes it's smoke a joint. Sometimes it's, 50 push-ups. That's its own thing. Sometimes it's I need to go spend 2.5 hours at the gym starting at 4:30 in the morning so I can get after it.
That's aggressive. About 45 minutes is my limit.
You look great. I'm about 3 minutes a month.
I still think you look great.
Thank you. But yeah, like for me, I want to get to where I'm going because I have, a sandwich in my head that I need to get the pork going for, or something, you know what I mean? And that's not going to happen if I'm stuck.
Yeah.
And for me, it's always
tools to keep you going.
Tools to keep you going. Find a way to get after it today.
There's a question I like to ask most people on the, not most, I've done it almost everyone. So maybe, if you can go back to any age in your life and give yourself advice, what would it be? And what age would it be?
That's a good question.
Thank you.
17. I'd go back to being a teenager, and the advice that I'd give myself is don't spend so much time worrying about the way other people perceive you and trying to be someone that is a people pleaser, and spend more time getting to know yourself. Spend more time pursuing your passions instead of pursuing, like for me, I was at MTSU for like 6 years. And I was there for so long because I was always enrolled, but I always would rather work or party or go hang out than go to class. I am in school right now to finish my degree at 33 years old. I don't need it. I own my own business.
Yeah.
I don't need a degree. I just want to finish something.
Yeah.
I just want to finish it because I started it so long ago. It's time for me to finish it. But I would tell myself probably not to go to school. I'd tell myself to probably move and take a knife roll and go get in kitchens earlier. Like go chase that dream earlier. I think I'm doing pretty good at 33 to open my first restaurant. But I think if I would have talked to myself at 17, I think I could have done it at like 28.
Fair. But at the same time, like, hearing that, like, not to say that you were lost by any means, because like you said that you had to find yourself in that aspect, but like you have to be kind of a little bit lost to be able to find yourself anyway.
Sure.
Like, you can't find something unless you lost it.
Sure.
So like it kind of happens, I guess, how it's supposed to, you know.
It really does. And, you know, at the end of the day, I think I can think of like one or two people that I know in my life where everything just worked out, where they didn't have to spend any time being a lost boy, you know, having to figure stuff out. I think of probably the only one or two people where it's everyone else is, the journey is never a straight line, man.
For those people and just your perspective of them, do you think that there's something internally that might not be fulfilled?
The people I'm thinking of, I have a old friend who I've known since we were kids, whose dad was very successful in real estate, and from the time we were in like 5th, 6th grade, we knew he was going to be, that he was just going to follow in his dad's path, like was interning with him in high school and stuff. It's just this kid's whole path is laid out for him, and it's what he wanted to do. It's what he wanted. It wasn't ever like, I never felt like it was something that was like pushed on him or anything.
Yeah, he's like,
it's just like, no, my dad's good at this. I'm also good at this. I want to work with my dad. Like, and that was just their life. And he's an awesome dude. Like it doesn't feel like he was like, you know, groomed or anything or anything like, weird.
Yeah,
he's just
like forced to.
Yeah, just a cool dude that knew what he wanted to do when he was a kid because it's what his dad did, and it was just an easy path for him to get there. And I could think of like probably one or two other people that in a similar, just growing up in Franklin, man. You know, there's a lot of
money.
You know what you're doing because it's there in front of you.
Yeah.
But forever, it's like for every two people you know like that, you know, 500 that had no idea what they wanted to do at one point in their life. And I think for me, I hope that everyone at one point in their life, maybe it's just one conversation with themselves, just like, I have no effing idea what I'm doing here. I think that's a good feeling to have. Yeah. Because like you said, you have to be lost to find yourself.
Yeah. Yeah. It's powerful.
It is, man. We got deep.
Yeah. Like, I said that's the point, though. I mean, like, how do you feel right now? Is it like what you thought? You said that you've never really done this kind of before. I mean,
I've never done like this conversational style. I've done stuff with food, you know, where I've cooked on camera and stuff like that. But conversationally like this, this is a first. I enjoyed it, man. I like. It's cool to open up with you, you know, and you're a dude that I trust, and I know you pretty well, not super well, but well enough, and it was a cool experience, man. I enjoyed it. And
I have one question too before.
Yeah.
I wanted to ask about
this arm? Yeah, it's on this arm. So my I love tattoo. That's for my Molly, my 5-year-old. I got it. I think she was just starting to walk, and I'd be holding her hand, and my wife took a picture of us from behind when I was holding her hand and she was little, and I didn't have it there, and I was like, I'm gonna get I love there. So when I'm holding hands, if you're behind us, you can see I love, and it's an extension to my Molly. So this is my daughter tattoo. It's just I love Molly.
That's powerful.
But we never said like I love you. Like I don't think she could when she was that age. It was always just I love. I was like, oh, dude, that's the cutest stuff ever.
It's powerful, though.
It is. It's that's the direct meaning of it, but I do enjoy having that one, man. It's something that's like, all right, yeah.
It's almost leaves like when I called it when you like put your arm up and it leaves the. Obviously, you know what it means, like that behind it, but I feel like it leaves the fill in the blank aspect.
Yeah,
like
it does.
Someone that it's like I love.
Well, and I like that it's a period because it's just like that's I love like and you can fill in the blank. You can love anything and anyone or whatever, but I think it's just more important. Just love.
Yeah.
Just have that ability, and if you can put that out, like I love baseball. I love basketball. I love human beings. I have the capability of loving, and I think that's cool and important.
Moves mountains.
My brother and my sister, I'm one of three, we all have love tattooed on our body in some different way. And none of us talk to each other about it.
Really?
Yeah, I got that from Molly. My brother has love wins right here. And my sister, I think she probably has love 13 times on her body. She has the most tattoos of us.
I'm actually a blank canvas.
Oh, yeah? Good for you, man.
It's not, I battle with it all the time. I'm like, I want something, but I want it to be so meaningful that I overthink it.
Yeah, I get that. And the ones I have are kind of dumb and just like they're meaningful to me and they're personal, but they're always like, I'm gonna get this today. And it's like I've had tattoos designed for 10 years that I still want to this day, but the ones that I get, I'm just like, I want to go get a Blink-182 lyric tattooed on my foot. That's what I want to do today. Just like, I don't have anything else to do.
Do you know what lyric? I feel like that's a thought process you might have had before.
I had it. Yeah,
Oh, you did?
I have Like
Okay.
Violence written on my, from the song Violence by Blink-182. It's Like Violence, you had me forever and after. And it's like a metaphor for love. And so I have love twice on me.
So keep
Love
it going.
twice, Tennessee twice.
I keep asking questions. There might be 3 somewhere.
Oh my God. Where are my toes?
Nice. Well, I brought you this piece. If you'd like to open it
I
up
would
and
like to
check
open
her
it.
out.
Let's see.
Just a little piece. That's the message. That's not important. The shirt is not. No.
Oh, I love it. Dude, that's such my color too.
Is it?
Oh yeah. The pink, yeah, dude. I actually almost wore this colored hat today. I kind of wish I would have now.
Yeah, you never know.
Yeah, dude, that's
now you
sick.
got a whole
Thank you
outfit
so
on there,
much.
bro. Yeah, no problem.
I'm excited.
Well, yeah, let everyone know also again like where you're located and everything. So
Sure,
they know
yeah.
where to find you.
If you want to come get a sandwich, Ollie Finn's is downstairs from where we are right now. It's over on 11th and High. It's in the Columbia Arts Building on level 2, same level as Bad Idea Brewing. Stop on by. We're open right now. We're open Tuesday through Saturday for lunch and dinner. I think we're gonna add Mondays. Go early in the week, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, just lunch, and then I think there might be some little earlier opening, maybe some breakfast stuff happening later in the week. I don't know.
This week?
No,
Oh,
it'll
it'll
be after
the brief.
It'll be after the
description,
4th.
I was like, oh.
After the, we're definitely gonna open on Mondays after the 4th, and I think we're gonna move to a couple days a week just doing lunch. We have Sundays our family day. We need a little bit more time together. We have a 5-year-old that lives inside of a restaurant right now, and she needs, especially during the summer, more time to not be there.
Yeah.
But
Was that your daughter at your house last night?
no, that was my niece.
Okay.
Yeah. No, I do not have a 16-year-old.
Okay. I couldn't tell. She either looked young, like
She looks so young and so old at the same time.
Yeah,
It's the weird, like
she knows what she's doing, but she looks like she's
I feel
young.
like
I
she
was
could ride the like little kids bumper cars and then while simultaneously probably not get carded at some of the bars she walked into. It's the craziest
Fair.
thing.
I'd be like, what do you want? You want a shot of whiskey? No.
No, that's my niece Avery. She works weekends and events for us. She's in high school and just one of my favorite human beings on the planet. She's
Right.
sweet and ambitious little girl.
Love stays in the circle.
Love stays in the circle.
Well, Ethan, I appreciate you coming on, brother.
Thanks for
Thank
having
you so
me,
much
man.
for having the conversation. I hope it was not as like intimidating as it may
No,
have
it
seemed
was,
at first.
it was a lot of fun.
I did say I was like I'm gonna break the walls
You
down.
did,
Like,
man. I feel like I need like tissues now.
No, you're good. You're good. But I think we're ready to roll out. Everyone, never forget that you're worthwhile. Always be yourself. Strive to be the best version of yourself. And go to Ollie and Finn to get a sandwich.
Come get it.
Thank you for tuning into this week's Worthwhile Spotlight. Our goal is to motivate people to become the best version of themselves possible through the power of storytelling. Our stories are written by the things that we experienced growing up, and these experiences, negative and positive, shape who we are and what we stand for. The beautiful thing about your story is that you get to decide how it's told. So as a diamond in the rough of life, hang tight and let your light shine bright.